What is up, Kaiju fans? This is the Ultra Kaiju YT here with another review for you guys, and today I will be reviewing the bootleg NECA Pacific Rim Knifehead Series 1. Now, there was a couple Knifehead variants that NECA has made over the past few years, and that has been the first one, obviously, the Wave 1 Knifehead, which is obviously the worst. Wave 2 Knifehead, which is this beautiful guy right here, Rip His Foot. He is probably the best out of them all. He has beautiful battle damage and all, but they also made a clean version of him, and they made a super huge one, which I wish I could get, but it's just so hard to find. The 18-inch glow light up Knifehead, and then they made the Scalers Knifehead that you can put on your cords and whatever. So I found this guy on eBay, and what he is he is actually a bootleg ripoff of the Series 1 Knifehead, and there's actually a bootleg Trespasser that exists too, which both of these are basically like Bandai's. Yeah, they're like here, and we have Gigan. The material is almost the same. The articulation is pretty much the same on these, and it feels the same. This is not a Bandai, though. I would have wished that Bandai would have made a Pacific Rim series, the Bandai Movie Monster series. That would have been great. I can imagine that this would have been what their Knifehead would have been, except with way better paint. So yeah, I will be going over this guy, and his price on eBay was like $25 to $20. For Trespassers, like $25 to $30. And I think that this bootleg is alright. It's not the best bootleg in the world, but it's definitely better than all the bootlegs I have collected. So I think they actually did a pretty good job, of course, stealing the mold. And the paint and detailing on him, as you can see, that is really sloppily and messed and painted just really messily, and it's just doesn't look good. This weird silver mark from who knows what, God knows what that came from. Some really sloppy paint over here, and something that I hate on this figure is that probably when they were drying the paint on this guy, as you can see, zooming in a little bit, the paint on his fingernails, if the camera would focus, you see that? The paint for the fingernails, it is dripping down. Probably when he was drying at the place he was being made. Yeah, you see that? The camera would focus. Yeah, you see that. That is just really gross and disgusting. I hate that. There's really a drawback to this figure, and it is just the paint and detailing on him is not the best. As you can see, he's just really bad at standing too. Okay, now on to detail. Picking him up. Detailing on him is actually pretty good. Better than I thought it would be. You can see his nice marks, rough marks, that you would see on the regular Pacific Rim Knifehead figures. So you can see that. That looks very reminiscent of them. Of course, they didn't do that themselves. They had gotten that from the mold. We have a nice shoulder plate things right here. Nice detailing on his tail, which is rubber and does not articulate. I feel like this would have been an articulation point, but it's just a glued in gap, a glued in seal. And the painting and detailing on his back spike shell is smaller than the original one, of course, since it's a bootleg. I think I know why. Yeah, that ugly, disgusting silver blob right here probably came from here. Painted really not the best, but overall the detailing on this guy is pretty good. I think they actually did a good job on it. I really hate these circle things right here. They just don't, the yellowness just doesn't match the yellow on him, and just the yellow is really messily painted. I hate it so much. It's like somebody's mother just absolutely butchered your birthday cake. Well, that is just disgusting. I hate this paint. But taking a look inside his mouth, his teeth are actually sculpted really nicely. I think they did a nice job on him. My camera just hates focusing these days. So yeah, his tongue in there too is also sculpted and painted really nice. Going in more depth into him, as you can see, that is painted really nice. Inside his mouth, as you can see, the teeth are just really nicely painted for this bootleg figure. As you can see on the bottom too, they're painted all around, all the way. I think they did a great job on that. Yeah, they're painted all the way, even inside the mouth. Look at, they're painted. I think they did a really nice job on that. There's Knifehead's unbelievably long and sharp chin. And going to his eyes, I think his eyes are okay. It's just a blue blob with the black line. But I think over here just looks really surprised, like he's seen some stuff that you probably shouldn't have. Over here just looks really serious and angry, but over here he just looks like he's seen some stuff. He looks like he's seen quite a bit. And on the top of him, you have of course his whale blowholes, his nose holes on top of there, nicely sculpted. I really like that, and I feel like the paint and detail on him is just really bad and stuff, but on the nails, apart from that right there, I think his nails are painted really nice too and stuff. But now, here we go onto the real part of this video, the articulation. So articulation on this guy is probably his best. Is probably the best thing he has going for him. He has his arms would have gone 360 degrees if it wasn't for his shell spike. I can imagine I can get that to work, but I won't do it since I don't want to break this guy's arms. And then his mini arms, surprisingly, they actually move. This would not be something you'd see on a Bandai figure. They can actually move 360 degrees, but of course the arm and his thunder thighs are blocking it from going all the way. So I really like that these were able to move. I think that's really cool. And then everything, all of his articulation goes 360 degrees. Same thing with his foot. Yet I can actually get to that to go 360 degrees. It can actually work, which is surprising. Better on this foot. See if we can move the hand out the way a little bit. Yeah, that works. As you can see, you can get him in all kinds of goofy poses as you wish. Like that. But I think that the articulation on this guy is the best thing he has going for him. And I think that this would be a nice substitute for a Bandai figure, especially since, say, bringing in my boy Gaigen. His head pops off, by the way. His head can go 360 degrees, and his arms also can, and then his legs can too. He only has 1, 2, 4, he has 5 articulation points. Normally a Bandai figure would only have 4, but this guy's special. And then this guy too. He has 6 articulation points. No, his head doesn't move, and no, his tail doesn't move. His tail's, I really like that bend. It's not a bendy wire, but I really like. It feels satisfying to move. Yeah, so his arms, and his mini arms, and his legs, they all move, making 6 articulation points. But also one thing I noticed on him is that he doesn't have that fuse, his 2 fused arms, like we hear bringing in the far superior figure. Yeah, that's supposed to be there on both arms, that hole in there to represent both the arms fused together. And this figure doesn't have them. I guess they were just too lazy to do that, which is fine for being a bootleg figure. Get out of here, Gaigen. So I think that the articulation is good for being a bootleg, and it's better than a Bandai figure. Usually your basic Bandai figure is going to have 4 to 5 articulation points, and this guy has more articulation than a Bandai figure, so good job on that, whoever you are that made this. Now on to dem size comparison. Here we have our disappointment head compared to some Godzilla vs. Kong Playmates figures, with Monkey with Battle Axe and Skullcrawler with Heave. Here's it compared with some other bootleg figures in my collection, with the Space Godzilla minifigure and Godzilla midget figure. Here's it compared with some NECA figures in my collection, with the NECA Godzilla 1962, I believe, and 2014 reissue ver. I love you. And finally, here's it compared with some NECA Pacific Rim figures in my collection, with the NECA Pacific Rim Battle Damage Knifehead and NECA Pacific Rim Rubber Bibbit Otachi. So overall, I think this figure is pretty nice for being a bootleg. Of course, you don't want to get this because when you have the official one around there, and when you have the even more official and better one, clearly this guy right here. But I think if you want to substitute for a Bandai Knifehead, because a Bandai Knifehead will never exist, then this is definitely a figure for you. Or if you just wanted your Ultraman, your Bandai Ultraman, or Ultraman Ace, or any of those guys to go against Knifehead, then this will definitely go with that. He is perfectly in scale with them. And he's just a pretty good figure. His articulation's better than a Bandai, and I think if you're looking for a substitute for a Bandai Knifehead, then he's definitely one that you're going to want to get. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. This is the Ultra Kaiju YT signing off. Peace.